Chosen one, listen carefully. The heavens are sounding their trumpet, and the appointed hour has arrived. This is not a coincidence, nor just another interruption in your life. It is the moment that eternity has been preparing for you. The voice of God is declaring, in the days ahead, what eyes have never seen, what ears have never heard, and what hearts have never imagined will be poured into your life. These are not the words of men, but a sign from the one who rules over time and history. You have walked through seasons of hidden wounds, carrying questions that no one could answer, wondering if your pain had any meaning. But today the veil is lifted. Every tear, every restless night, every burden you carried was shaping you for this hour. Nothing was wasted, not a single step forgotten. Every moment was preparation for the destiny that is now unfolding. You are not here by chance. You did not arrive at these words because of an accident or random curiosity. God Himself has guided you to this exact place because it is time. Do not assume you still have endless days ahead. Do not let doubt chain you to hesitation. The hour is fixed. The door is opening. If you shrink back, you may lose what heaven is releasing. But if you step forward with courage, what is coming will surpass your imagination. Chosen one, this is the defining moment of your life. As you receive these words, open your heart and let your spirit awaken, for heaven is speaking directly to you. Now, as you step forward into this divine truth, if your spirit bears witness, you may write 777 as an act of faith and agreement, or simply remain here and receive in silence. Do not hurry away. Stay with me until the very end, because this message will close with a prayer that speaks directly into your soul. Remain here, for this moment is holy. Let the weight of His peace settle upon you now. Chosen one, the shift has already begun. Even if you cannot see it with your natural eyes, the ground beneath you is moving. What you once thought was stable is being rearranged. What seemed impossible is now bending to the will of God. This is not just a minor adjustment or a simple change of circumstances. It is a divine realignment. Heaven is moving pieces into place, and your life is being lifted into a new position of purpose. For so long, you have felt like you were standing in between, waiting for something, unsure of what would come next. But that season is ending. The waiting has served its purpose. The silence was not abandonment, it was preparation. And now the stillness is giving way to movement. You are crossing a threshold. You are stepping out of the old into the new. Every delay that frustrated you, every detour that confused you, every closed door that hurt you was, in fact, a hidden design to position you for this exact hour. This shift is not only spiritual, it will touch the practical areas of your life. In your work, new doors will open that no effort of your own could have forced. Opportunities that were locked will suddenly unlock, and tasks that once drained you will be infused with new creativity and energy. In your health, habits that once felt impossible to change will now break easily, because God is strengthening your body and mind for the assignment ahead. What used to weigh you down will no longer have power over you. Chosen one, do not resist this shift. Do not cling to the familiar just because it feels safe. What was comfortable in the past can become a prison if you refuse to let go. This is the time to release what no longer serves the journey and step boldly into the unknown. God has already gone before you. He has cleared the path, and His hand will sustain you when your strength feels small. The shift has begun, and nothing can stop what heaven has started. You are being moved from hesitation into confidence, from scarcity into abundance, from questioning into clarity. Lift your eyes and recognize the signs. Relationships are being rearranged, doors are swinging wide, clarity is breaking through. This is not a season to shrink back. It is a season to rise, to move, to claim what has always been promised to you. The shift has begun, and you are standing in the middle of it right now. Chosen one, the fog is lifting. For years you have walked through seasons of confusion, carrying questions that seemed to have no answer, praying for direction when all you felt was silence. You wondered if your steps were random, if your struggles had any meaning, if the pain you endured was simply wasted. But now the revelation of truth is breaking through like light at dawn. The veil is being pulled back, and what was hidden is being revealed. The truth is this: you were never lost. Even when you felt abandoned, heaven's eyes were fixed on you. Every moment of uncertainty was part of the process that shaped your faith. Every unanswered question was positioning you for this moment of clarity. God is revealing the pattern behind the chaos, the design hidden within what once looked like disorder. You are about to see how the pieces fit together, and with that vision will come a peace that cannot be shaken. Chosen one, the truth will not only comfort you, it will transform you. It will give you the courage to step where you once hesitated. It will give you the strength to forgive where you once held bitterness. It will open your mouth to speak words of faith where you once stayed silent. The truth is not just information, it is liberation. It is the key that unlocks the chains you did not even realize were holding you back. And this revelation is not confined to your spirit. It will overflow into your daily life. In your relationships, you will begin to see people for who they truly are, and discern who belongs in your future and who was only meant for a season. In your decisions, you will no longer be paralyzed by fear of making the wrong move, for clarity will guide you. In your inner life, the restless storms will calm, and you will walk with a quiet confidence that others cannot ignore. The truth about your identity is this: you were chosen not by accident but by divine intention. You were created with a purpose, marked with destiny, and every trial was preparation for what is now unfolding. This is your moment to embrace the truth, to walk in it, and to let it redefine your life. The fog is gone, the light is here, and it will not fade. Chosen one, before you ever took your first breath, you were already marked. Long before the struggles, long before the questions, long before the world tried to define you, heaven had already spoken your name. You were chosen not as an afterthought, not as a replacement, but as part of a divine plan written from the beginning of time. Every detail of your life, the family you were born into, the roads you walked, the battles you fought was allowed for a reason. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. You may have wondered why your journey has been so difficult, why you were given challenges that others seemed to escape, why rejection and resistance followed you even when you tried to do right. The answer is simple yet profound. Those who are chosen are forged in the fire. You were never meant for an ordinary path, so you could never expect an ordinary process. The weight you carried was proof of the calling you hold. The struggles that tried to crush you were actually training you to stand. Chosen one. This is why you could not fit in with the crowd, why you often felt out of place, and why the approval of others never fully satisfied you. You were not created to blend in, you were created to stand out. The seal of heaven has been on you since the very beginning, and even when you doubted yourself, that mark never left. While others may have overlooked you, heaven never did. While people may have questioned your worth, God never did. You were set apart, and now the time has come for that truth to be revealed. This reality is not meant to inflate your pride, but to anchor your purpose. Being chosen does not mean an easier life. It means a life with meaning. It means that every test has been shaping a testimony. It means that every scar is evidence of survival and strength. It means that your life, with all its broken edges, is still part of a masterpiece designed by the Creator himself. So, chosen one, do not despise your past. Do not curse the weight you had to carry. For those very burdens are the reason you are ready for what comes next. From the beginning you were chosen, and nothing, not pain, not rejection, not fear, has the power to change that truth. Chosen one, heaven has set a clock over your life, and that clock is ticking, not in fear, not in panic, but in holy urgency. The appointed time is not years away, it is near. In 7 days, a divine shift is scheduled to break into your world. This is not symbolic poetry. This is not an empty promise. This is the announcement of heaven's calendar colliding with your reality. Do not take these 7 days lightly, for what happens in this short span can change the trajectory of your entire life. God does not measure time as humans do. What feels small to you, 7 simple days, is more than enough for him to dismantle barriers, overturn verdicts, open sealed doors, and establish a new order in your path. What would take others years of striving can unfold for you in 1 divine week, because this is not about human effort, it is about divine timing. Think of it in work, tasks you have struggled with, projects that felt stuck, doors that refused to open, they can suddenly move within these days. In relationships, the silence that haunted you can turn into reconciliation, or the hidden truth that kept you bound can finally come into the light. In your inner being, the heaviness that pressed on you for years can lift in an instant, and a new strength will rise in its place. But here is the weight of the matter. The 7 days require your readiness. This is not a time to coast, not a time to fall asleep spiritually, not a time to treat God's voice as background noise. Every decision you make, every posture of your heart in this period matters. Complacency can cost you destiny. Hesitation can rob you of a breakthrough. But faith, obedience, and courage will unlock what has been waiting for you all along. Chosen one, the seriousness of this moment cannot be overstated. This is not another cycle of waiting. This is not another vague promise to soothe your emotions. This is a countdown on the divine clock. Heaven is aligning events, shifting circumstances, and preparing to release what was held back until this very hour. In 7 days, you will stand at the threshold of a reality you could not create on your own. You will witness the unraveling of chains, the opening of gates, and the appearance of opportunities that no human hand can close. And when it happens, you will know without question, this was not a coincidence. This was an appointment. Heaven has spoken, and the time is now. Chosen one, the battles you have faced were never random. The nights of exhaustion, the seasons of rejection, the weight that made you wonder if you could keep standing, none of it was meaningless. The truth is sobering, yet empowering. Your struggles were training grounds, carefully designed by God to forge a strength that comfort could never give. Every trial carried a purpose. Each disappointment pressed you deeper into reliance on Him. Each closed door redirected you toward the path you were meant to walk. What looked like punishment was preparation. What felt like abandonment was shaping. The crushing you endured was not to destroy you, but to extract the oil of endurance and resilience that only pressure can produce. You have been through what others could not survive, not because you were weaker, but because you were chosen for greater. This is why your pain was heavier, your storms longer, your deserts drier. The chosen are never trained with easy lessons. They are shaped by fire. Like iron in the furnace, your spirit was heated and hammered until strength became part of your nature. You wondered why others seemed to escape with ease, while you carried burdens they never touched. It is because their assignment was different. The weight you bore revealed the magnitude of your calling. Look closely at your scars. They are not marks of failure, but testimonies of survival. They prove that no storm could drown you, no betrayal could end you, no valley could bury you. You are standing here not by accident, but because every struggle served its purpose. Your faith has been refined, your wisdom deepened, your heart humbled. And now those very wounds become your credentials, proof that you are equipped to walk into destiny. The enemy wanted your struggles to break you, but God allowed them to build you. What was meant to crush your spirit has actually prepared your soul. What was designed to silence you has instead given your voice authority. Do not despise the pain you carried, for it has carved the path to your purpose. The meaning of your struggles is this: they were never about defeat. They were about refinement. They were about positioning. They were about ensuring that when the appointed time came, you would not be fragile but unshakable, not uncertain but resolute. And now that time has arrived, chosen one, The person you once were can no longer carry the weight of the destiny that now calls your name. The identity you wore in past seasons, shaped by wounds, colored by fear, limited by the expectations of others, is fading away. God is unveiling a new you, one that has been hidden beneath the layers of pain and doubt, one that has always been present but never fully revealed until now. This transformation is not cosmetic. It is not surface level. It is the radical rebirth of your very being. You have lived too long under false labels, what people said you were, what failure tried to define you as, what fear whispered into your soul. But those names no longer apply. You are not unworthy. You are not forgotten. You are not insufficient. Heaven calls you chosen, appointed, and equipped. The new identity rising within you will no longer bow to lies. It will stand in truth. It will stand in authority. It will stand in the light of the one who formed you. This transformation requires courage, for letting go of the old self feels like death. The familiar voice of insecurity will fight to stay. The shadows of past mistakes will attempt to return. But chosen one, do not confuse familiarity with safety. The old identity is a cage, not a refuge. And cages are meant to be broken. When God calls you out, you must walk forward even if your feet tremble. You will notice the change. In conversations, you will no longer shrink back when truth must be spoken. In decisions, you will not waver between options but walk with clarity and conviction. In your relationships, you will carry yourself not in arrogance, but in quiet confidence, knowing you are no longer bound to please everyone. You are called to please God. Understand this. The transformation of your identity is not just for you. It is for those who will see your light and realize that change is possible for them too. When you step into the fullness of who you truly are, you become a signpost to others still wandering. Your life will testify that the old self can die and the new self can rise with power. The shift is already happening. The old name is being erased. The old chains are being broken. The old image is being buried. And what is emerging is a vessel of strength, humility, and divine purpose. Step into this identity, claim it, live it, for it is who you were always meant to be, chosen one. You carry a mark that cannot be erased. From the moment of your first breath, heaven placed its seal upon you, a mark that no failure, no rejection, no enemy attack has ever been able to remove. This is not a mark visible to the eye. It is a spiritual imprint, a divine signature etched into the very core of your being. It is what sets you apart when you didn't understand why you never quite fit in. It is what stirred restlessness in you when others were content with mediocrity. It is what kept you alive when storms tried to bury you. The mark of the chosen does not guarantee comfort, but it guarantees calling. It is the invisible evidence that you are an instrument in God's plan, a vessel reserved for divine purposes. That mark is the reason you felt resistance from the world, why doors closed against you, and why envy rose up in others without cause. Darkness has always recognized the light you carry, even before you saw it in yourself. Chosen one. The mark you carry is not for decoration, it is for commission. It means you are not called to watch history but to shape it. It means your voice is meant to pierce silence, your hands are meant to heal what is broken, and your presence is meant to shift atmospheres. The mark is not permission to hide, it is a command to shine. When you walk into a room, spiritual powers recognize it before people do. That is why you cannot shrink, why you cannot bury your gift, why you cannot live beneath your calling. This mark is both weight and honor. It will demand sacrifice, but it will release authority. It will call you out from the crowd, but it will also equip you with strength that others cannot explain. Do not despise it, do not run from it, embrace it, for this mark is proof that you were hand-picked, not overlooked, appointed, not abandoned. And understand this, the mark is not for your glory, but for God's. It is not to build your kingdom, but His. The light within you is meant to be a beacon for those still in darkness, a reminder that God still raises voices, still calls the unlikely, still anoints the overlooked. Chosen one, wear this mark with courage. It is your identity, it is your authority, it is your responsibility. And as you walk forward, know this: heaven has stamped its claim on your life. You are chosen, and the mark upon you declares it to every realm, seen and unseen. Chosen one, for too long chains have tried to hold you, chains of fear, chains of doubt, chains of voices that told you, you cannot, you will never, you are not enough. These chains were heavy, invisible to the natural eye, but powerful in the way they restricted your steps. They disguised themselves as caution, as humility, as realism, yet in truth, they were cages. But hear this clearly. The time of limitation is over. The chains are breaking now. Every lie that made you believe your past defined you is shattering. Every memory that whispered shame is losing its grip. Every ceiling that told you this far and no further is being torn apart. For the God who called you never placed limits on your destiny. Those limits were imposed by fear, by circumstance, by people who could not see what heaven saw in you. And chosen one, you are no longer called to live by the small vision of others. You are called to live by the vast purpose of God. Breaking chains is never easy. It requires a decision. It demands faith. It shakes you out of what feels safe and pushes you into the unknown. Yet remember this: safety is not the same as destiny. What is familiar may comfort you, but it cannot transform you. The prison you know is still a prison. The only way forward is through breaking. And as you step forward in faith, heaven supplies the strength to shatter what you cannot break alone. Look around you. Opportunities that once seemed impossible will begin to align. Conversations that were locked will suddenly open. Resources you lacked will begin to appear. When the chains break, the flow begins. When the prison doors swing wide, you will realize that what looked like a delay was actually divine timing, waiting for you to rise in courage. This breaking will touch every area of your life. In your work, you will no longer settle for survival, but step into strategy, leadership, and growth. In your health, you will no longer be bound by destructive habits, but find discipline and healing rising from within. In your relationships, you will no longer be trapped in cycles of toxicity, but be free to love and be loved in truth. You are not defined by what holds you. You are defined by the one who sets you free. The chains are falling, the doors are opening, and the limitations that once confined you are powerless against the hand of God. Step boldly into the space He has prepared. For freedom is not coming, it is already here. Chosen one, the waiting season has ended. For too long you have stood at the edge of promise, staring at the horizon, wondering if the right moment would ever come. You have prayed, you have prepared, you have endured, but now the word from heaven is clear. The time is now. This is not the hour to delay. This is not the hour to shrink back. This is the hour to act, to move, to step into the destiny that has been calling your name since the beginning. Waiting has taught you patience, but patience must now turn into motion. The lessons you learned in silence are not meant to remain locked within you. They are meant to be lived out. Every step you take in obedience activates the promises that have been hanging over your life. Do not be fooled into thinking that passivity is faith. Faith is action. Faith moves. Faith steps forward even when the path is unclear, trusting that God has already prepared the ground beneath your feet. This urgency is not meant to terrify you, but to awaken you. Imagine a soldier trained for battle who never leaves the barracks. His preparation would be wasted. Imagine a farmer who tills the soil, but never sows the seed. His field would remain barren. You have prepared long enough. You have trained long enough. Now it is time to sow, to fight, to build. Heaven is waiting on your movement. This hour of action will touch every part of your life. In your work, it means applying the wisdom you have stored instead of waiting for someone else to validate your gift. In your relationships, It means initiating reconciliation, speaking truth, or walking away from what no longer aligns with your destiny. In your health, it means changing habits, creating discipline, and refusing to let your body remain a prison when it was designed to be a temple. Every area calls for action because every area is part of the mission. Do not say, "Tomorrow I will move." Tomorrow is not guaranteed, but today is in your hands. Do not wait for perfect clarity. Clarity comes as you walk. Do not wait for fear to vanish. Courage is born in the midst of trembling steps. Chosen one, the greatest risk is not stepping and failing. The greatest risk is never stepping at all. Heaven is sounding the alarm. Hesitation is a thief. Procrastination is a prison. Delay is disobedience. If you move now, doors will respond. If you move now, chains will break. If you move now, the provision already prepared will meet you on the path. But if you stay frozen, if you continue to wait for a safer time, you risk letting this divine moment pass by. Chosen one, rise. Move. Act. This is your hour. Not next week, not next year now. Take the step, even if it is small, and watch heaven multiply it. For God does not bless your intentions, He blesses your obedience. And this is the hour to obey. Chosen one, hear this with the weight it deserves. Forgiveness is not optional, it is essential. You may think that the greatest barrier to your breakthrough is a lack of resources, a lack of opportunity, or a lack of clarity, but the truth is far deeper. The greatest barrier is often the chains of unforgiveness. When you carry resentment, when you hold on to anger, when you nurse wounds in your heart, you are not punishing those who hurt you, you are imprisoning yourself, and the time has come to break free. Forgiveness is not about excusing wrong. It does not erase injustice. It does not pretend that betrayal never happened. Forgiveness is about releasing the hold that pain has over you. It is about cutting the cord that ties your destiny to the wounds of yesterday. Every grudge is a weight, every bitterness is a chain, and as long as you cling to them, you cannot run the race set before you. Chosen one, understand this. Your calling is too great to carry poison in your soul. Your hands are meant to build, not to clutch bitterness. Your voice is meant to proclaim truth, not rehearse old wounds. Your heart is meant to pour out love, not store up anger. That is why God is pressing on this area, because He knows what is ahead of you, and He will not allow you to step into it bound. Think about this in your life. In your relationships, forgiveness will heal what apologies never could. It will restore peace in your home, in your friendships, in your heart. In your work, forgiveness will release creativity and clarity, for bitterness fogs the mind and drains the spirit. Even in your health, forgiveness matters, because carrying resentment is like carrying fire in your chest. It burns you more than anyone else. The moment you forgive, you will feel the burden lift, the heaviness break, the peace return. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is a strength. It is choosing freedom over bondage. It is choosing healing over hurt. It is choosing to trust God with justice rather than trying to carry it yourself. When you forgive, you align yourself with heaven's heart, and heaven responds by releasing a breakthrough into your life. That is why Jesus declared that if you forgive, you will be forgiven, because forgiveness opens the floodgates of mercy, and mercy brings transformation. Chosen one, let today be the day you release what you have carried too long. Whisper their name and let go. Place the hurt in God's hands and trust Him to deal with it. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it transforms your future, and your future is too important to lose to bitterness. The key to your breakthrough is not found in striving harder. It is found in forgiving more deeply. Unlock it and watch the doors open wide. Chosen one, a great awakening is unfolding, and you are standing in the center of it. This is not a distant promise or a poetic dream. It is the reality that heaven has already set in motion. The season of scarcity, confusion, and wandering is coming to an end. A new season of abundance, clarity, and divine provision is breaking into your life. The shaking you have endured was not to destroy you but to awaken you, and now the awakening itself is here. This awakening begins within. Before it transforms the world around you, it first transforms the world inside you. Your eyes will see differently. Where you once saw lack, you will see provision. Where you once saw failure, you will see foundations. Where you once saw closed doors, you will see redirection. The awakening lifts the veil, and suddenly everything makes sense. Not because your circumstances changed overnight, but because your perspective has been reborn. But this is not only an inner awakening, it is also an outward release. Abundance is not simply more money, more possessions, or more recognition. True abundance is the fullness of life, peace that steadies you in storms, love that overflows into every relationship, and strength that empowers you to overcome every obstacle. This awakening is a reordering of your world, so that you no longer live under the shadow of fear, but under the covering of divine promise. Consider how this will touch your daily life. In your work, you will notice opportunities flowing where there used to be drought. Projects will come together with ease, and clarity will replace confusion. In your relationships, love will flow freely broken. Connections will either be healed or replaced by connections that truly align with your destiny. In your health, practices that once felt impossible will suddenly become natural, because your body and spirit will respond to the new order of peace. Every area will carry evidence of this awakening. Chosen one, the enemy tried to convince you that you would always live in lack, always live in scarcity, always live beneath the level of your calling. But those lies are being broken now. The awakening is not just changing how you live, it is changing who you are. You will no longer see yourself as a struggler barely surviving. You will see yourself as a son, a daughter, an heir to a kingdom that lacks nothing. Do not underestimate the seriousness of this moment. The Great Awakening is not a suggestion, it is a summons. Heaven is not politely inviting you to live differently. Heaven is declaring that you must rise into the abundance already prepared for you. If you cling to fear, you will miss it. If you cling to bitterness, you will resist it. But if you open your heart, this awakening will sweep through every part of your life like fire, like light, like breath itself. Chosen one, receive this truth. The awakening is here. It is not delayed. It is not tentative. It is certain. You are entering a new chapter where peace will rule, love will overflow, and provision will meet you at every step. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the life you were always meant to live. The awakening has come, and nothing will ever be the same again. Chosen one, the veil is lifting, and your true identity is being revealed. For years, you have carried questions about who you are, why you exist, and what role you were meant to play in this world. Others may have tried to define you, family, culture, circumstances, even your own mistakes, but none of those labels carried the authority of heaven. Now God Himself is unveiling your divine identity, and it is not what the world told you. You are not a mistake. You are not ordinary. You are a chosen vessel, set apart for a purpose far greater than you imagined. This revelation is not meant to flatter your ego. It is meant to free your soul. The false identities you wore, the voice of failure that told you you will never rise, the shadow of rejection that whispered you are not wanted, the fear that repeated you are not enough, are being stripped away. What remains is the truth. You are God's masterpiece. You are marked with His fingerprint, filled with His breath, sustained by His hand. That is your identity, and it is unshakable. Chosen one, when this identity settles in your heart, everything changes. You will no longer measure yourself by the world's standards of success or approval. You will no longer be swayed by the opinions of those who cannot see your calling. You will stand in the confidence of knowing that your worth does not come from applause or achievements. It comes from the one who chose you before the foundation of the world. This revelation will not only transform how you see yourself, it will transform how you live. You will begin to make decisions not out of fear but out of purpose. You will no longer chase opportunities that diminish you, but walk through doors that align with who you truly are. In relationships, you will stop settling for connections that drain you because you will know you were created for something more. In your work, you will step into assignments that reflect your calling, not simply tasks that consume your energy. Everything will realign once you embrace who you are. Chosen one, this identity is not fragile. It is eternal. It is not dependent on your past or shaken by your failures. It is anchored in the one who never changes. Even when you doubted, even when you strayed, your identity remained. Now it is time to claim it fully, to walk in it boldly, to let it shape every word, every step, every action. The revelation of your divine identity is heaven's reminder. You are chosen, you are appointed, and you are prepared. Step into this truth with courage, for when you live as who you truly are, no power in hell and no opinion on earth can stand against you. Chosen one, this is the final summons. Everything you have endured, every lesson you have carried, every word spoken over you, has been leading to this moment. The chains are breaking, the veil is lifting, and the doors to your future are swinging wide. You are no longer called to live in the shadows of what was. You are called to step boldly into what will be. This is not a suggestion, it is a mandate from heaven. Breaking free is not only about leaving behind the past, it is about refusing to carry yesterday into tomorrow. The wounds, the regrets, the betrayals, they do not belong in the life you are about to enter. Forgiveness has loosened the grip of pain, truth has shattered the lies, and revelation has redefined your identity. You are no longer who you once were. You are no longer bound by the patterns that tried to hold you. You are free, and that freedom is the foundation of your future. This future will not be without challenges, but it will not be without power. You will walk through storms, but storms will no longer define you. You will face resistance, but resistance will no longer break you. You will encounter uncertainty, but uncertainty will no longer paralyze you. Why? Because you know who you are, and you know whose hand is guiding you. Heaven has gone before you, and the same God who delivered you from the past will establish you in the days to come. Chosen one, look ahead. Do you see it? A future where your voice carries authority, not silence. A future where your work brings impact, not emptiness. A future where your relationships are rooted in truth, not pretense. A future where your health is restored, your mind is steady, and your spirit is strong. This is not fantasy, it is the reality prepared for you, if only you will step forward. Do not shrink back now. Do not doubt what has been declared over your life. You are standing on holy ground, and heaven's command is clear. Break free and step into the future. The days of hesitation are over. The days of small living are over. The days of hiding are over. This is the season of boldness, the season of abundance, the season of destiny fulfilled. Chosen one, as you walk forward, you do not walk alone. Angels surround you, grace covers you, and the Spirit of God empowers you. Your story is not ending, it is beginning. Your future is not uncertain, it is secured. Your identity is not fragile, it is eternal. Now rise, step into the light, and claim the life heaven has already written for you. This is your time. This is your calling. This is your future. Step into it without fear, without delay, without looking back.